Why can't I lose weight? Here's what I learned. Let me know if anything I'm about to say resonates with you. Have you ever stepped on the scale just to be disappointed by the number? Have you ever felt like smashing your scale to pieces? How about just throwing it out the window? Or worse, giving up. In a moment, I'll share some of the reasons we may not be losing weight, and make sure to stick around to the end when I'll share with you what I think we should be focusing on in these first few weeks of our weight loss journeys. If you're new here, my name is Frank, and I had those same emotions this morning. When I created the channel, I promised I would share my ups and downs, and this morning I had a frustrating morning. I stepped onto the scale and was hoping to just see something decent and not expecting to see the number go up. Frustrated, right? I'm like, I can't understand why this is happening, and I decided to just create this video basically because I want to share with you some of the emotions I'm feeling as I stepped onto the scale. I have a few goals today. One of them is to encourage you to stick with your weight loss journey and exercise some patience. I've been consistent over the past few weeks. I haven't cheated, been drinking my water, walking, not as much as I would like. The food's been okay. The quality here and there hasn't been that great. I spoke about this in a previous video. So seeing a number this morning that was a few pounds higher than a week ago was definitely surprising and really frustrating and annoying. I promised you I would share my ups and downs, and today is a good example of wasn't really in a good mood after stepping on the scale this morning. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night because there was a first NFL game was last night, the Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens, so it was delayed to begin with. Then it started late. Of course it started late. It was delayed. It ended late, and I didn't get a lot of sleep, and we're also watching two of my nieces today. So I have 4 young kids upstairs. I'm dead tired, but was able to kind of doze off a little bit in the afternoon after work and just got a little bit of energy, so I decided to go ahead and put this together. The reason I'm saying that is it's not always going to be perfect. There's going to be some days that it's just things are stacked against us, and I want you to just focus on playing the long game here, just being consistent. Not every day is going to be perfect. What I also want you to start thinking about is really develop the why. We've spoke about this before, but you really need to develop your why for why you wanted to lose weight. I highly encourage you writing it down. Don't keep it up here. Write it down. Maybe put it in your phone and set in a reminder to at least read it once or twice a day. Maybe before each meal, like 15 minutes before you're getting ready to eat, or maybe post it somewhere on the fridge, or maybe if you work from home in just some common areas or some areas around the home, because it's going to be days like this that we really need the encouragement, and we really need to know why we're doing what we're doing to lose weight, because you need that reinforcement. One of the reasons I'm creating this video is for that reinforcement. So I'm hoping that if you're someone who's, if this is the first time, I hope you at least consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and you come across a video like this on a day that you need it. Before we jump into what we should be focusing on in these first few weeks of our weight loss journeys, let's just briefly explain why we might not be losing weight. Quite simply, our bodies just haven't adjusted yet. We may be still not dialed into what we should be eating exactly. I started to say this earlier in a previous video that I recommend just starting messy, and that's what I did. I didn't have all the answers when I first started this weight loss journey just a few weeks ago, but I knew enough to get started, and I have lost some weight. I knew that I needed to drink water, cut sugar, reduce carbs. I wanted to start intermittent fasting. I knew that. I knew enough to get started, and I'm glad I did. It's not going to be perfect from the beginning. Do what you know, and the results will catch up. However, tweak, adjust, reflect on what you've been doing. When you start to first intermittent fast, the fat loss might be gradual. I remember earlier in the year when I originally started my weight loss journey at 310 pounds, I got down to 270 pounds pretty quick. But in the beginning, those first 2 to 3 weeks, it was a little slow. But once your body got used to burning fat versus the sugar that you were putting into your bodies, the weight loss started to accelerate. So just know that it starts off a little slow, and that fat loss is gradual, but once it kicks in, you probably will start seeing some really good results. We may be also retaining some water. There may be some hormonal fluctuations. The takeaway here is just be patient, trust the process, but keep reflecting, keep working on that process. In future videos, we're going to talk about habit stacking. We're going to talk a lot about just picking one good habit to lose weight, stacking another habit on top of that, and continuing to stack habits. I'm excited because I really think that's going to be the direction of the channel going forward. Other channels, other weight loss channels, focus a lot on exercise and recipes and things of that nature, and I'll curate that information. I'll share what I'm learning, what I'm doing, but I'm not going to sit here and do a workout in front of you. That's just not my expertise. That's not something I feel comfortable with. I'm not going to go upstairs and cook a dinner in front of you. Maybe one time here and there, I may show you how I grill chicken or a recipe for a one-pot dish or something like that. On occasion, I'll do that because I do want to learn about meal prep and things like that, and saving time and making sure that my dinners are squared away and thought out well in advance, so I don't sabotage my weight loss success. But what I want to do is kind of tap into habits and mindset and how that affects, or basically how that will help us succeed in our weight loss journeys. So if that's something that you're really interested in learning more about, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. So what should we be focusing on in these first few weeks? The first thing I think we should be focusing in on is, how do we feel? Right? This morning, or even yesterday as well, I get up and I put the clothes on and I don't feel as bloated. Maybe because I'm not eating the carbohydrates. I feel lighter. I do feel more energetic. Most of the times I sleep well, but there are nights where I don't sleep well. My mind starts to race. That's something also that I really need to work on, because I feel like if you don't have a good evening routine, that can sabotage your weight loss. And what I mean by that is, if I'm not getting good rest, then it's going to mess up my morning routine. And my mornings are really where my mornings are really what helped me lose weight, because it's a predictable time of the day, and I really try to get the exercise in and a lot of the healthy habits that I want to incorporate into my day. I try to do that in the mornings because it really sets my day off well. Think about these things: your energy level, your mood, body measurements. Maybe, your waist is coming down or whatever. It's really early. It's only 3 weeks in, so we're not going to see any dramatic results just yet, but you may be feeling some of these things and it's not being reflected on the scale. So just hang in there, be patient. I'm going to start listing all the habits I think I need to do that are going to move the needle. And what I mean by that is, I'm just going to sit down with a pen and paper, and then maybe I'll go ahead and I use the Growth Day app. I've talked about that in the past, where I go in and I plan out or work on my goals in there. But what I'm trying to say is, I will just map out my routine, my habits for the day, and I'm going to build onto those habits, and I'm going to just really focus on that process. Instead of focusing so much on the outcome, let's just really come up with a really good system and hone in on that process. And I feel really confident if we do that, we'll have success. So I hope this video brought you some encouragement on a day that you may need it. If you like the content, if I brought you some value, please consider liking, subscribing, and I will see you in the next video.